What's up, guys? Last year, prior to the Western States 100 and UTMB, I made a video sharing my predictions as to who I thought would finish in the top 5. I'm running Western States myself this year, but I still can't wait to learn how the elite race plays out. So without further ado, these are my predictions for the top 5 at Western States, starting with the women. Number 5, Fiona Hayvice of New Zealand. Hayvice finished 5th last year, and I expect she'll do the same again. She's a masters runner who I believe lacks the speed to compete at the shorter ultramarathon distances, but she's shown that in tough conditions, she can grind her way to a top finish. Aside from her 5th place finish last year, she finished 4th at the 2018 Tarawera 100 mile, which was pouring rain the whole time. I think she has a good shot at getting in the top 5. Number 4, Ailsa Macdonald of Canada. Ailsa Macdonald is new to Western States, but we did watch her crush the Black Canyon 100K back in February. At that race, she beat highly anticipated Courtney Dauwalter by a large margin, although it should be noted that Dauwalter had raced the Sean O'Brien 100K just a few weeks prior. Number 3, Lucy Bartholomew of Australia. By 100-mile standards, Lucy Bartholomew is very young. She's just 22. She's the second youngest person in the race, actually, just behind myself. Despite her youth, she's had top performances in the Ultra Trail World Tour, including a course record at the Ultra Trail Australia and a win at the Ultra Trail Cape Town, as well as several other top performances in Europe. This will be her debut 100-mile, but after spending the last month putting in big miles on the course, I think she'll do well. Number 2, Courtney Dauwalter. Courtney is probably the most anticipated runner in the race, with many people predicting a victory from her, but I'm just not sure she has the leg speed to win the race outright. To be clear, Courtney is tough as nails. I mean, she finished the Moab 240 in 57 hours and only slept for 21 minutes. If the lead pack splinters, I wouldn't be surprised to see her muscle her way into a victory. Otherwise, I have her at 2nd place. And the winner, number 1, Kaci Lickteig. Lickteig most notably won this race 2 years ago and had a 2nd place finish the year prior. Picking Kaci to win is a little bit of a gamble considering her last year was a bit rough. She struggled at Western States and had a sidelining injury through much of this winter, but something tells me that Western States just suits Kaci. She has the speed and the positive attitude, and I think unless she has issues with the conditions like she did last year, she'll take the victory once again. On to the men's race. Number 5, Jeff Browning. Jeff Browning is a beast. He's well into his 40s now, and I doubt that he has the speed to keep up with any of the youngsters in a shorter race, but man does he race intelligently. He's always in the teens and 20s early in the race, and then motors into a strong finish after the river crossing. He finished 4th last year, and he's just too consistent not to put in the top 5. Number 4 is my dark horse, the guy from Santa Barbara, Kris Brown. Kris Brown is without a doubt an underdog. He really burst onto the scene finishing 4th at the North Face 50 mile last November. Him being a Santa Barbara guy, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I just have a feeling that he'll finish in the top 5, so I'm putting him in 4th place. For number 3, I'm going with Francois of France. Maybe I'm crazy for ranking Francois this high. He beat arguably the greatest runner of all time, Kilian Jornet, at UTMB last year. But I have to say, UTMB is a very different race from Western States. According to Francois' YouTube channel, Francois was still skiing well into the early spring, and I'm just not sure that approach works well for Western States. He's run this race before and only finished 14th in 2015, but I do think Francois has been on a pretty good streak lately. And while I don't think he'll win, I think he could very well be on the podium. Number 2, Hazen. Hazen is still a youngster, just 23, but he already has an impressive resume from this race. He finished 14th when he was 19 and then 3rd when he was just 20. Rumor has it he was running 200-mile weeks back then, which is insane. And he's been pretty darn close to that lately, running about 150 to 170 miles a week. With as much speed and, more importantly, Western States experience as Hazen has, I'm confident he'll be a top finisher. Number 1, Jim Walmsley. If you've watched the previous prediction videos, then you might be getting tired of me picking Jim. The guy let me down twice last year. And let me be honest about something, the way Jim raced last year was gutsy, but not smart at all. If he wants to win this race, he won't do it by racing the way he did last year. He's going to need a little bit of patience. That being said, I think 2016 is a good indicator that he has it within himself to win the race. And after listening to a few podcasts with him, I think he knows what he needs to do to get the win. 3rd time's the charm, Jim. I put my faith in you once again. That's all for my predictions. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. I'm always happy to see what other people think and engage in some discussion about how the race is going to play out. And if you want to follow my own endeavor to someday win the Western States 100, please subscribe to this channel. I've got about 70 videos leading up to the race on Saturday, and there will be many more to come. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in Squaw.